What's up, everybody? The Washington Wizards lose to the Houston Rockets in Las Vegas, 109-91. So we're going to do a recap of that, and then we're going to look at an updated depth chart because, man, who starts at point guard? That is the big question in Wizards land. So we're going to talk about that and more next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again, and I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as the playoffs wind down. The sports stop sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. Every single day. That is right. There is something for everyone every single day all summer long. So look, visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, everybody. The Washington Wizards lose their second summer league matchup against the Houston Rockets in Las Vegas, 109-91. So we're going to look at the stat line of the Wiz Kids, and then we're going to look at the point guard position in an updated depth chart. Who starts at point? Is it Malcolm Brogdon or Jordan Poole? And, on the second unit, is it Jared Butler or Bub Carrington? So there's a lot to look at. But let's get into it first. Again, the Washington Wizards dropped 109-91 against the Houston Rockets, and it looked like it was a Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore show. Lord have mercy. But let's look at the Wiz Kids real quick. Now, there was a different starting lineup. Obviously, Eugene Emery did not start at power forward. The starting lineup tonight was they rolled with Alex Hart, obviously, at the 5, but Justin Champagnie, small forward. But they had Keyshawn George, another forward, and Bub Carrington and Johnny Davis. So they definitely rolled out a different starting 5. So let's get into it. Alex Hart, 29 minutes tonight. He did struggle tonight, but look, not concerned. Look, we all know that this guy has star potential all written all over him. But here's the trend with every draft pick that Will Dawkins has chosen. They're teenagers, they're young, they're very raw, they're versatile, they are very high upside. But we knew going into this season, man, that he's very raw, especially offensively. You see the potential on the defensive side. Heck, you see the potential on the offensive side, but he's very raw. And there's going to be a lot of growing pains this year. But like I said, I'm big on Alex Hart, man. I definitely think he is definitely the future DC. But he, definitely a cold shooting night tonight, shooting 4 for 13 tonight, 0 for 5 from 3. He did contribute 4 rebounds. Obviously, you want to see better rebounding numbers, especially with 29 minutes. But like I said, he's going to get there. 2 assists, 2 blocks. So the block numbers, he continues to be a pest as far as being a rim protector, and contributed 8 points overall. And if you get into plus minus, was minus 18 tonight. So like I said, I'm not concerned. With summer league, with training camp, with preseason, with the regular season, there's going to be a lot of growing pains with these 3 young recruits you have. And you can even add Vucevic and Bilal Coulibaly. Obviously, he had the struggles in the Olympics, the pre games for the Olympics, but all 5 of these gentlemen, man, all 5 draft picks of Will Dawkins, man, they're raw, they're young, but they're versatile. They're very high upside, man. So I'm not concerned at all. Getting to Keyshawn George now, he looked really good tonight, man. 24 minutes, but shot 5 for 6 from the field, 3 from 4 from 3, 14 points overall, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 6 turnovers, but he definitely needs to work on his handles. But I think that, again, growing pains will be there, but he looked really good tonight. But Bub Carrington, man, continues to play good basketball. Now, from the standpoint of efficiency, not his best night. 34 minutes played. He did shoot 5 for 16 overall, 4 for 10 from 3. So efficiency was a big hit tonight. And going back to George real quick, he did miss 2 free throws, so another thing he needs to work on. But sliding back to Bub Carrington, 18 points overall. I mean, I did like other parts of his stat line, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 turnovers. But, efficiency shooting wise, he's an aggressive player. Like I said, he's a young player. I mean, he played 1 year at Pitt, so he's got a lot of development to do. And like I said, he's very high upside. Like I said, a lot of us were very excited with his output with the first summer league game, and I think he's going to be a really good player in the future for the Washington Wizards. But, he's 18 years old, about to turn 19, and he's got a lot of room for improvement and growing. But as far as being raw, look, you definitely see the talent with Bub Carrington. I mean, on an off-shooting night, still contributed 18 points. So, I definitely like what I saw for the most part. But, again, efficiency was hit tonight. He did, again, just like Keyshawn George and Johnny Davis did miss 2 free throws. So the charity strike, you have to get better at the charity strike, man. Johnny Davis, not a bad showing. A lot of us are, waiting to see, what does this organization do with Johnny Davis? And he very well is playing for his survival in a Wizards uniform, if not in the NBA period. But 30 minutes, 5 for 8 for the field, 1 for 1 from 3, 4 for 6 from free throw, 6 rebounds. Johnny Davis always been a really good rebounder. Defensively, he wasn't bad. 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. So, defensively, he had a nice block. I'm trying to forget. I forget who he got it on in the first half, but a really nice block. And defensively, he's always been a really good defender. That's, it's never been an issue with Johnny Davis. He's always been a really good defender. It's just, finding his offense. And tonight, wasn't a bad night. He's always been a good rebounder too. So, he's had his struggles. Obviously, he's always going to be compared to his draft position, which was 10th overall. But he definitely needs to impress in the summer league, in my opinion, because he very well could be on his way out. Because again, new sheriff of town, Will Dawkins is going to prioritize his guys. And if you look at the timeline, this was a comment that I made to a gentleman who didn't like my take about Jordan Poole. But the fact of the matter is this, y'all. Teenagers are the name of the game. The timeline got moved. There was a time when Denny Avdia was part of the timeline. There was a time when Jordan Poole was part of the timeline, and I wanted him to be. But if you look at the fact that all 5 of the draft picks under Will Dawkins are teenagers, the timeline is pushed back. So let's get into the stat line again. So Johnny Davis, we'll see. But he's, I don't think he's part of the timeline. I don't think he's part of the future. And I think right now he's showcasing his talent for other teams if they decide to move on from him. So rounding out the starting 5, Justin Champagnie, and again, man, he continues to impress in Summer League. He's a guy that, obviously he's going to float between the Capital City Go-Go and the Washington Wizards, but the Capital City Go-Go continue to churn out players who shown that when given minutes with the Wizards, they can provide quality minutes. And Justin Champagnie, 8 for 14 from the field, 29 minutes played, 0 for 3 from 3, but not my concern. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Come on now. So overall, love what he's done the first couple games in Summer League. So let's get into the second unit. Now, Jules Bernard, 20 minutes played, did shoot 2 for 5 from the field, but 1 for 2 from 3, but 7 for 8 from the charity strike. Contributed 4 rebounds, 2 assists. It was -8 in plus minus, but overall 12 points. Not a bad performance from Jules. We know what he can do. Another quality player that is going to float between the Capital City Go-Go and the Washington Wizards. John Butler Jr., 15 minutes played. 3 points was a 3-pointer. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal. He's a guy that's definitely going back to the Capital City Go-Go, but he's a guy that you kind of want to see him add a little bit of muscle. But he's a guy that we don't talk enough about, John Butler Jr. And this is a comment that was made, and I forget who made the comment, my bad, but great comment, because I totally agree. We don't talk about John Butler enough. I think that he's an intriguing young prospect. Now, obviously, he's going to spend a lot of his time with Capital City Go-Go, but again, they're getting these guys ready that when injuries happen, they can contribute quality minutes on the NBA level. Funk, 3 minutes, no points. He didn't have any stats at all. So, he's a guy that, they're going to, chances are he's not going to make the roster, but kind of want to see more from my man Funk at the 4 position. And Tristan Vucevic did play tonight, combined today and tonight. 14 minutes. He did shoot 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, 1 rebound, 1 block, 1 steal, 1 turnover. So Tristan Vucevic, I have a lot of love for Tristan Vucevic. I think he's going to be a good player with the Wizards. Started out slow. Well, you finished slow, pretty much, if you look at the stat line. But he's a guy that I'm not concerned about. I think that he's definitely going to contribute minutes. I think it was a good move by Will Dawkins to put him on a 2-way contract because, again, he's a teenager. He's very, very raw, man. And you see the potential. But I think him floating between the Capital City Go-Go and the Washington Wizards and learning from a fellow European player in Jonas Valanciunas and a dog in Rashawn Holmes and even Marvin Bagley III. Those 3 guys, these 3 vets, man, are going to be able to definitely be mentors to him. And I think he's going to, when he's with the Capital City Go-Go, he's going to get started minutes. So he's going to definitely get his confidence up. He's going to get playing time down there. And there's going to be, when the time comes when Rashawn Holmes, Jonas Valanciunas, and Marvin Bagley are moved on from, he's going to be able to contribute at a high level with the Washington Wizards. So, definitely a good situation or a choice by Will Dawkins to put him on a 2-way contract because really takes pressure off of him. Lets him learn from mentors who've been there and done that in Jonas Valanciunas, Marvin Bagley III, and Rashawn Holmes, and he can take his time, play some minutes to Go-Go, and get his confidence up. And I think that, when the time comes, he could be, if not the starter, definitely 7-footer backup for us, and with the center depth. And I like him long term. Like I said, he's very raw. Let's be real. Again, the 5 draft picks under Will Dawkins, including Bilal, are very raw, very, very raw. Bilal came into the league very raw. He's still very, very raw as a player, oozing with potential, has star power potential. Absolutely. Alex Sarr, he showed he's so, I'll definitely be patient. We're going year 2 of a very long rebuild, but each one of these draft picks are high upside, man. These are guys that are going to be contributors to the Washington Wizards in the future. And in the case of Bilal Coulibaly and Alex Sarr, I firmly believe they're going to be stars in the future. But look, they're very raw. They need a lot of development, a lot of patience. And we see that now. So definitely stem your expectations a little bit about this season, because you're going to see a season that's going to be a lot like last season. It's going to be a lot of growing pains. You showcase a lot of these vets to be moved at some point, Malcolm Brogdon. And that kind of leads us to the next segment, which is who starts the point guard. We're going to look at the updated depth chart real quick. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. All right, so I love sports. Y'all know that. I love sports so much, I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games. And the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to, y'all. But with FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want to, right? All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood, which is all the time because I've been cashing in and winning a lot of bets lately. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every single day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. And by the way, tonight is the Major League Baseball draft. So if you are a baseball fan, tune in, man, because there's a lot of good prospects in this year's MLB draft, man. And I believe the Nats are probably next up. So we'll see who they get. And the O's are 22nd in the draft. So if you're a baseball fan, again, definitely recommend looking at the draft tonight because a lot of good prospects, man. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day long? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news. Streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, y'all, let's get back into it. So updated depth chart real quick. Now, there's been a lot of traction lately that Malcolm Brogdon could be the starting point guard. And obviously there's questions with that because one, obviously with his price tag being 22.5, it kind of behooves the Wizards to make him the starter because they want to showcase him because he's an inspiring contract. And you definitely want to showcase what he could do as a starting point guard or maybe a 6-man on a contending team. And so if you very well could see him starting the season, I think that's definitely where the direction they're going. Now, Jordan Poole is slated to be the 2 guard. Why is that an issue? One, I'm a big believer that I believe that Jordan Poole is at least a starter for the next 3 years. Now, obviously, again, before we knew that the timeline was kind of pushed back, I was personally looking at Jordan Poole as maybe a long-term option because he's a young player, hasn't hit his prime, and there's a lot to love. But then, if you look at the fact that, look, all 5 draft picks under Will Dawkins are teenagers, and they're very raw but high upside. If you look at the fact that they moved on from Denny Avdia at age 23, it tells you that the timeline is now looking at players who are in their teens. They're teenagers, man. If not, like 18, 19, 20 years old. And so they're going younger with the timeline. So that would relegate Bilal to probably being backup wing. And because the latest depth chart I looked at was Bilal was backing up Kyle Kuzma, who they're looking at starting at the small forward position. Obviously, Alex Sarr would be the 4, and Jonas Valanciunas the 5. So, Jordan Poole, I don't know about that, him with being a 2 guard because we saw this previous season, when him and Tyus Jones were in the same backcourt, the backcourt was undersized, not a good defensive backcourt. And, Malcolm Brogdon is a better defender. And I think he definitely could fit the mold that Tyus Jones and Monty Morris before him fit, which is, the veteran point guard, the distributor, the guy who's a floor general looking to distribute more before they look to score. A guy who was looking to contribute, definitely spread the ball around. And I think Malcolm Brogdon, he's a vet in the game. If you guys watched the game tonight, he had an interview tonight that, he didn't look too enthusiastic, but I mean, but he's a guy that's definitely till the deadline going to be a really good veteran point guard. But to me, if it was me, I would bring him off the bench. But again, when you look at the salary of 22.5, you kind of compelled, especially with him being an expiring deal and you having to move on for him, starting him. So, I mean, we know that Jordan Poole is a guy that needs the ball in his hands to be successful. And you're probably looking at him being the starting point guard after the deadline because it's going to be like last year, y'all, where, You're trying to develop these young guys, and yet you're trying to showcase a lot of these vets. Jonas Valanciunas, we'll see 3-year contract. Is he moved to the deadline? We'll see. Marvin Bagley III, expiring deal. Rashawn Holmes, a couple of years in his deal. So a lot of vets on the team, and a lot of them are mentors, right? Obviously, a mentor. You're looking at Kyle Kuzma being a mentor to Bilal. You're looking at Malcolm Brogdon really working with Bub Carrington, because Bub Carrington and Jordan Poole, because they're both young point guards who could be part of the future. Now, obviously, Bub, looking at the new timeline, is more of the future at point guard for the Wizards than Jordan Poole was, which was different a year ago, because Jordan Poole was definitely looking like he was long-term option. And this was a comment, or this was a conversation I had with a listener or watcher last night, or Friday night, my bad, where he's like, the kind of complaining about Jordan Poole, and it's like the timeline's different, man. It's not like it was. You just pushed back. They're going younger. So, who was part of the timeline before? A lot of them aren't part of it anymore. It's the timeline's different now. So that's what the depth chart is looking at. It's going to be, other guys in the depth chart that kind of rung out to me was they had Jared Butler backing up Malcolm Brogdon. Bub Carrington, we'll see. He definitely, I would like to see him being the backup point guard. But obviously, there's a lot that kind of is connected to that, right? He's very young. Jared Butler has proven that. And, look, here's the thing, man. Jared Butler has deserved that the be the backup, at least for this season coming up. He's earned that right. He's played well. And it goes back to, I know right now the hot topic on Wiz Twitter is, Jordan Poole versus Bub Carrington. And I'm not going to get into that, man. Bub Carrington's 18 years old, very raw. He's very young. Jordan Poole, he earns his starting position. He's, last year you can argue up and down season, but the second half of last season showed me that he deserves to be a starter. I don't think it's an argument right now. Obviously, a lot of people are excited about Bub, and you should be. Bub Carrington is talented, man, but Jordan Poole's better right now. Let's be real, man. He's a guy who's shown that he can play at a high level in the NBA, and even having that comparison to me is a little disrespectful, because the guy has played well in the NBA, and while I'm a big believer in Bub Carrington, to have that argument after one summer league game, we need to pump the brakes a little, because Bub Carrington has a long way to go till he's an effective player in the NBA. He has high upside and tons of potential. Now, I definitely think he's the future point guard. But right now, it's not even a comparison, man, because Jordan Poole has shown that, he's got a track record. He's got a ring. He's shown that he can play at a high level. He's checked that box, and we're hoping that Bub can be that guy. And after, 2 summer league games, again, these rookies are very raw. But I think that in hindsight, Bub Carrington is going to rival Alex Sarr as far as being probably one of the better players in this draft, because Bub Carrington is going to be one of the better players in this draft. Obviously, Alex Sarr is, and Keyshawn George tonight showed that he's a baller. He can shoot. He can definitely shoot. He needs to work on his handles and other aspects of the game. But so, there's a lot of turnaround with this roster, and a lot of questions, because where does Keyshawn George, where's he come in? You Patrick Baldwin Jr., you maybe, he's looking over his shoulder a little bit. Marvin Bagley III, where does he slot in? Does he back up at the 4? Does he back up at the 5? Because, you already got Rashawn Holmes being. So, the depth chart is going to change a little bit. But like I said, that's kind of the updated depth chart. And like I said, I've seen more and more that a lot of people are looking at Malcolm Brogdon as being the starting point guard. And I get it, because of the price tag and the fact that he's an expiring deal. They're going to showcase him and move him at the deadline. Now, obviously, you're looking at the players that you're looking at that are on pretty much going to be moved at the deadline. I'm looking at Malcolm Brogdon and Marvin Bagley III, because they're expiring deals. Now, you can say Kyle Kuzma, but we'll see. He's got 3 years left, and they could trade him. They very well could hold on to him. Same thing with Jonas Valanciunas. And, they want to get some kind of value back for these guys, but at some point, you want to see them move on from Kyle Kuzma at one point, or Jonas Valanciunas and Jordan Poole. But for right now, they're going to be around for a little bit. So I think that Marvin Bagley III and Malcolm Brogdon are probably going to be the most likely people dealt at the deadline. So we're going to get into comments. We got 55 people. I know last night we had about 150 people. I get it. We took it L tonight, but still a lot to love, guys. There's still a lot of potential with this team, man. And, I still had, like I said, tonight was a Cam Whitmore and Reed Shepherd show, man. Lord have mercy, Cam Whitmore, man. Like I said, that's a whole nother debate. Cam Whitmore versus Bilal. I love Bilal. I think Bilal fits the timeline, but Cam Whitmore was right there for us. And like I said, there's always going to be a comparison. There's always going to be the Tyrese Halliburton versus Denny comparison. There's always going to be a comparison. You know what I mean? So, but Cam Whitmore, whoa, man. Another Be More product. Him and Bub, sharing some love before the game. Both of them from Be More. So like I said, the ship has sailed, but man, the brother can play, man. So we're gonna get into some comments like we always do. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. So passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're in the speed, power, style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guarantee Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. And with all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. So look, keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. So look, guys, real quick, I've used eBay Motors a few times, man. Definitely, if I get it. I'm an old head, man. When you think about any kind of maintenance on your vehicle, you think about going to a shop, but a lot of parts online, great prices, man. If you're looking for anything for your ride, whether it's a sports car, truck, anything, definitely consider, even motorcycles, please definitely consider eBay Motors, man, because they know what they're doing, and they got, again, 122 million parts, man. So look, keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guarantee Fit only available to U.S. customers. So all right, everybody, as you guys know, I'm gonna try to get to every comment, man. And like I said, these next couple of weeks, I'm gonna do a fair share of mailbags, man, because I know a lot of you guys have not only been taking your time to watch the show, but been, asking really good questions, and I want to definitely answer all of them, man. So I'm gonna try my best tonight, y'all. Let's start from the top. Man, a lot of comments, man. Like the law said, Bub. That's how I feel, man. Bub is the real deal, man. I mean, sample size is small, man, but I love what I see. Area 11_T. Am I the only one concerned with the lack of athleticism, less facade strength, and heavy reliance on shot making from the young guys? They struggle to get downhill, and they lost the best guy. Yeah, I agree with you, but like I said, they're very raw, man. A lot of the pressure goes on to this developmental staff, this coaching staff with Brian Keefe, to coach these young guys up and develop them right, because very, very raw, man. So, like I said, you see the upside with these guys, but they're raw, man. All 5 of the draft picks in the Will Dawkins era are 1 teenagers, 2 very raw prospects. Bilal Coulibaly is still very raw, guys, and he came in the league very raw. I mean, you see the potential. You definitely, he played good basketball last year, but very, very raw. Area _11_T also said they get bullied too easily and don't currently possess the physicality right now to stop losing the ball when facing contact. They do give effort on defense, so that's a good sign. Yeah, absolutely. Also, Bubba's a good shooter. I agree on all points. And I think they're going to coach him up, man. But they're, like I said, they're very, very raw, man. Like the law said, it's not my brand of basketball, but it's NBA basketball in the year 2024. Physical basketball is not in demand. Unfortunately, you are very right. It's a different time in basketball, man. It's very, very different times. He also said, if it was, you don't draft a 7-footer who weighs 225. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the NBA is different now. There was a time when I was coming up, at the center position, you were a guy who stayed in the paint. Now, obviously, looking at the rules in the NBA, you can't sit in the paint. You had your Patrick Ewings, Hakeem Olajuwons, Shaquille O'Neal's, where they were dominating in the paint, but did not stretch the floor too much, if at all, right? Now you look at 7-footers, man. Your Miles Turners, your Jokic, man. They have the ability to hit the mid-range shot, hit the three-point shot. They have a little more athleticism to them. They're passing. And if you look at players like Hakeem Olajuwon, he was a good passer, immaculate footwork, but if you compare him to the modern day big, one-dimensional, and I think that Hakeem Olajuwon is one of probably the best centers that ever played the game, and the same thing with Shaquille O'Neal, in my opinion, man. And the list goes on. David Robinson, list goes on. Bando Chapin says the Rook's struggling bad tonight. Champagny deserves a roster spot. Yeah, I think Champagny has definitely earned a roster spot. Looking at his performance last year and what he's done so far in summer league, but yeah, they're gonna struggle, man. You're gonna see a lot more struggle this year with these rookies. You hope to see a little bit of progression with Bilal, especially with him working with Team France and Tristan Vucevic being in summer league. You want to see a little bit of progression with those two. But Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington, and Keyshawn George, man, they're going to struggle. They're going to have their struggles because they're young, man. They're very young prospects, and they're very raw. But they'll be all right, man. Like I said, I have a lot of faith in Brian Keefe. His track record and his resume speaks for itself, and he's going to get these guys ready to go, man. Desan says Johnny doesn't look as bad as usual today. Yeah, I'm with you. Mystery layups, which is annoying, but he's done well other than that. Yeah, he looked good tonight, man, but is it enough? That's the question. and that's the question I asked you guys tonight, man. What are you looking for from Johnny Davis to earn a roster spot with the Wizards and not, go somewhere else, man? Because he looked good, but is it enough? That's the question. And like I said, I like Johnny, man. I don't want to see him. I want to see him succeed, but then look, the NBA is like any other sport, performance-driven league. You gotta show up. Look, this is professional basketball. This is your job. You got to show up, man. So, like I said, I think we're past the point of, who to blame for his struggles in his career. But I think we all agree, man, he's got to show up in Summer League if he wants to be in DC, man. If he wants to be in the NBA, period, in overall. Luck and Law says Star has to be more aggressive. Yeah, he's more of a stretch four. You definitely want to see him play with his back to the basket more, be a lot more aggressive. And I think it's going to happen, especially when he adds about 10 pounds of muscle. I think he's going to be able to be a lot more aggressive right now. He's more finesse right now. Like I said, I'm not concerned, but I definitely agree. And he'll get that, man. Sheldon T kind of echoed the same thing. Sar definitely needs more dog in him. Yeah, I agree. He needs a lot more dog in him. So I think that's a big reason why Jonas Valanciunas fits so well next to him, because Jonas got some, cojones, man. The guy has got attitude. I've always liked that about Valanciunas. Has always been a Wizards killer, but he's got a little dog in him, man. I think he's definitely going to, rub off on Alex Sarr. And, like I said, and let's see, Locked On Law said that's your basketball. Alex Sarr, own that. Okay. Definitely agree. Let's see. Anti-social extrovert. Excuse me. Seeing how Reed Shepard is balling out, any regrets not taking him at 2 over Sarr? Nah, I think the Sarr is the better fit long term. Now, Reed Shepard, I'm not going to take anything away from him, man. He can play some basketball. He is a baller. But I think that, Alex Sarr definitely fits better as far as what we want long term. A guy who very versatile. Next year, if we luck into the number 1 overall pick and get Cooper Flagg, or we get a power forward for the future, he's a guy who could slide back over to 5. But again, if you look at his comparison of Jaren Jackson Jr., he's a guy that I think could thrive at the 4. So I'm with you. I don't regret it, but Reed Shepard, man, watching him and Cam Whitmore ball out, just watching Cam Whitmore, it hurts a little bit, but because I knew he was right there. But then I do like the Blau pick, man, as far as the long-term outlook. So let's see. Like I said, I'm trying to get through the majority of these comments, man. We're at 27-minute mark. I'm trying to keep it around the 30 to 35 minutes tonight, guys. Let's see. Shannon C says, nah, I don't regret taking Sarr over Shepard yet. Big man can take longer to develop. Yep. Great point. And he has a higher ceiling. My big worry with Sarr right now is toughness, looking kind of soft. I agree, man. He's got to get tough. And I think that he's going to get that, man. I think that, again, Jonas Valanciunas, he's going to have some impact on him. He's going to definitely toughen him up, man. And like I said, the NBA has ways of doing that for you, man. It's still a very physical game. Now, is it as physical as it was when I was coming up? Nah. But look, man, I think he's going to be all right. He's definitely going to be all right. Let's see. Locked On Law said, we're going to do Sheldon T first. At Lock, good. This upcoming draft is one we want the number 1 pick. Absolutely, man. Cooper Flagg, woo! But there's a lot of talent in this draft coming up, man. A lot of talent. Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson. There's a lot of good players in this draft, man. But it kind of goes into Locked On Law says Cooper Flagg a bust. I do want Cooper Flagg. I want him like I want a cheeseburger right now, man. But I wouldn't make it towards Cooper Flagg a bust because there's so much talent in this draft coming up. And we saw with Atlanta getting the number 1 overall pick how truly hard it is to get to the 1 overall pick. And then in the year before that, we were like a percentage away from getting Wembanyama. So it's hard to get that number 1 pick, man. So I wouldn't make it to where it's Cooper Flagg a bust, even though if you get that number 1 pick, yeah, you absolutely get Cooper Flagg, man. But there's a lot of talent, man, a lot of starting talent, a lot of a high upside talent in this draft coming up, man. Man, I don't know how to pronounce that. Year right. So Cam Whitmore just butts our butt. I'm with you on that, man. Cam Whitmore can play some ball, man. He's just, man, that's all I'm going to say. Lord, Sheldon T also said really excited to see how Bub develops over the season. I think he'll be the best of the 3. I think that when we, like I said before, man, in hindsight, him and Sarr are going to be about even as far as how good this draft was, man. I think Bub Carrington's going to be a star. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he just got that it factor, man. He's got a dog factor. Sarr obviously needs to add that dog factor, but let's see. But Sarr's gonna be all right, man. He's gonna be just fine. Shug Biz, what's up, homie? How you doing, man? Don't hate me, but we could have had Whitmore. I'm with you, man. It's kind of like Christian Gonzalez on the Commanders, as opposed to Emmanuel Forbes, which I like Emmanuel Forbes, man. But I fully expected Christian Gonzalez, and even then, before I expected Cam Whitmore, to be honest with you, because at the time I thought that he was pro ready, and it shows, man. This guy's ready to play. But like I said, I believe in Blau. In hindsight, looking at the timeline, obviously he was the best pick at that point because he just fits the timeline. But I mean, Cam Whitmore, I'm with you, man. I expected. I was waiting for them to say his name, but like I said, the ship is sailed. But Cam Whitmore, just man, he can ball, Shug. He can ball, man. I mean, he's doing some serious things in that court today, man. Let's see. A good point. Cameron Gant says our game plan was experimental, and that's what the coach said. Coach Topper said, man, they're gonna experiment a lot with these rosters over the Summer League. So yeah, I'm not surprised, man. Let's see. Link says I think Brogdon plays the 2. You know what? That's not a bad point, man, because he can play the 2. And like I said, Jordan Poole he's just a better player with the ball in his hands. Can he play off ball? Yeah, but he's more effective with the ball in his hands. So that's not a bad point, man. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get through this, guys. A lot of good comments. We got 84 people in the chat, so man, appreciate you guys rocking with your boy tonight, man. So let's see. All right. Let's see. Teasery said, "Where's the Johnny Davis haters tonight?" I mean, Johnny looked good in the last couple of games, man. And he really has looked good. I think the question for everybody, man, is it enough? 10th overall, and he's had his struggles. Yes, he is looking better. He does have a little more spring to the step, but is it enough, man? And Lock and Law kind of responded to that. Says, I don't hate Johnny, but he's had more time to develop than Kodak film. And one decent Summer League game just isn't enough. I'm with you on that. I agree with both points, guys. Definitely hope the best for him, but is it enough this Summer League for him to be retained? Dan 7 Eco 84. What's up, homie? Bub is good. He's going to be good. No worries. And George shown promise. I agree with you. I'm not concerned. Look, put your seatbelt on and brace yourself because this season coming up, there's going to be a lot more misses than hits, man. They're young. They're raw. They're oozing with potential. But look, man, they're very raw, and there's going to be a lot of growing pains this season, man. So, but I am very intrigued to see how much they grow this season. Kind of like Bilal last year, and still Bilal the same. Still very intrigued to see how much Bilal's grown over the last season in the Olympics and just working, this offseason, man. I'm very intrigued to see how much he evolves, man. Same thing with Vuk, man. So let's see. Let's get through it, guys. A lot of good comments, man. DC Onion, I can't say all of it, man, but my man DC Onion, we played soft as soft big man. Look, yeah, I mean, Sar, he needs a little more dog. And you know what I'm saying? I think we all agree with that. He needs a little more dog, man. But I think he's going to get there. Like I said, I think Jonas is going to have some impact on him, man. I think a lot of these vets, man, they're going to get these guys right, man. Gotta echo the next comment. Yep, yeah. Appreciate the comment, bro. Let's see. Try to get through this, guys. DC Onion says, and sorry, be cool, and Cam Whitmore. Look, I agree. Look, we know that right now Cam Whitmore's better. That's easy. Cam Whitmore he's better. He's a better player than Blau, easily. But the pick was for the future, and Bilal is very raw, very young. But look, taking nothing away from Be Cool, man. Be Cool is going to be a star. It's going to take time to develop. It's going to take time. It's going to take work on his part. But right now, like I said, I said it in the draft process last year, man. Cam Whitmore was more pro ready. He's ready to play. He's ready to come in and be a contributor for the Houston Rockets. Where Bilal he's developing. He's very raw. He's young, but right now, obviously, yeah, I agree with that, man. But long term, Bilal fits better because if we would have drafted Cam Whitmore, do they still trade Denny? Because Cam Whitmore, where's the timeline? You know what I mean? And so, looking at the current timeline, Bilal just fits better, man. But I'm with you. Cam Whitmore is just nasty, man. You see the things he's doing tonight. I mean, he's nasty, but he's a Houston Rocket, man. So like I said, while be more guy, got love for him, man. Look, Bilal's my guy. So let's see. Good comment, man. Dan 7 Eco 84 says, I still think you make Brogdon 6 man, and you still ship him at the deadline. Okay, yeah, I'm with you, man. I think that he fits better as 6 man in my opinion. But I'm with you. Let Poole start until you see Bub look like he's ready to take over and trade Poole later. See, what the thing is, Poole is so young and he's so talented. And you don't really have to be in a rush to move him because you could take your time with Bub because Bub is oozing with potential, but take your time, develop him right. You know, same thing with Keyshawn George, Alex Sarr. You definitely develop, because here's another question for everybody. And it's not, and this is not what I'm saying should happen, but you know, looking at the fact that we're trying to showcase some of these vets, would you still start Sarr at the 4, or would you start Bagley? That's the question for everybody. You know, would you start Bagley? You know, or would you let him develop on the second unit as far as Sarr, or are you guys ready to go ahead and just let him be the guy at power forward? You guys definitely comment below and let me know what you're thinking, man. All right, guys, we have the 35-minute mark, so I'm gonna try to knock out a few more comments. Like I said, I want to do everybody's comment, man. So like I said, we're gonna do some mailbags coming up because I hate not answering everybody's questions, man. Like I said, you guys took the time to watch, and I definitely want to get to your questions, man. Rigo Tone T, what's going on, homie? How you doing tonight? This year will be about development of Bilal. Yep, I'm with you on that. It was picked based on potential, although he could have had Whitmore and Hawkes. You hit the nail on the head, man. Rigo, you hit the nail on the head. You know, I agree with all points, man. DC Onion says, either you a killer or not. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. You know, I'm with you. You know, that dog factor most of the time is in you, man. We'll see. You know, we'll see if, you know, Jonas, because there's, you know, him, if he can toughen him up. You know, obviously, you know, right now, Alex Sarr is more finesse, more of a stretch. But if he wants to be that guy at the 4 or the 5 in the NBA, you know, he's got to be able to have a little bit of that dog in him, man. So I'm going to do one more, guys. Let's see. Try to do one more, man. DC Onion says, Vuk, look out of shape. I mean, you know, we'll see on Vuk, man. Like I said, I like Vuk. And I think that he's definitely working himself back into shape. But we'll see. So, all right, cool, man. Like I said, I want to do everybody's question, man. But like I said, I will do some mailbags coming up, man. Because like I said, as you guys know, after Summer League, before you get to training camp, it's going to be a lot of just quiet time. It's going to be the quiet storm, right? So we're going to do a lot of mailbags. We're going to do a lot of over and unders, looking at the season coming up. So I'm trying to keep it interesting with you guys. As you guys know, I try to keep it, you know, interesting for everybody, man. Because like I said, that moment coming up, man, you know, that time before training camp is always that quiet time. So we're definitely going to do a lot more mailbags and definitely going to chop it up with you guys a lot more. So I'm going to call it the night, guys. Comment. Let's see. Link says great stream. Look at me, man. Brandon, keep it up, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, you guys show me a lot of love, man. You know, it's just my 3rd season on Locked On Wizards, man. First time solo, obviously, you know, my man E. You know, we were that backcourt for 2 years, man. But look, man, I definitely appreciate all the love you guys have given me, man. Like I said, it's gonna be a year to remember. Like I said, I'm gonna enjoy this year with you guys, man. Like I got a lot of love, you guys, man. And this channel has grown so much because of you guys, man. So appreciate you. So all right, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow night. We're gonna do matter of fact, let's do this. We're doing mailbag tomorrow. And we're going to do a preview for Tuesday night's Summer League game. So we'll do a mailbag tomorrow. So after I get off here or sometime tonight, man, I'm going to post it on YouTube and on Twitter. You guys shoot me your questions, and I'm going to try to knock out, if not, you know, most of them, if not all of them, man. So tomorrow night, I'll see you guys for a mailbag, and we're going to do a preview for Tuesday night's Summer League game. So again, everybody, I hope everybody had a blessed weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Hail to the Wizards, and peace. See you guys next time.